Hello everybody, Pixel here again, back with another Rainbow Six Siege video. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys everything you need to know about Year 9 Season 3. All the new updates, the new operator, and all that other good stuff. So if you enjoy this video and you learn something new, make sure to hit that sub button, like the video, and join the PixelPeekers. Now with that being said, unfortunately, I am on console, so my access to what I can show you guys is a little bit limited. I don't have access to the test server, so I can't really get as much footage as I want to, but I do have some footage to show you guys, so don't worry about that. Now with that being said, let's talk about the new operator, because that's what everybody wants to know about, right? So the new operator is Skopos, and the way essentially she works is, yes, she's in a wheelchair. This is true. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's wondered about it. She is in a wheelchair. However, she works from home, so don't worry. She's a remote worker. She just controls her drones, or her shells, as Ubisoft is calling them, from within the match. So essentially the way it works is Skopos has access to 2 of her shell robots, and they are protected by these bulletproof shields, as you can see. And at any moment within the match, she can switch between her drones, which is super cool, right? Because you could be playing on 3F, for example, and switch to a drone all the way in basement. That is something you can do. Now, keep in mind, her drones can be destroyed. The shield can be blown up by an Ash charge. The shield can be destroyed by a Capitao or a Flores. Additionally, her robots can also be disabled by EMPs and things of that nature. However, the one you're controlling has active protection. So if you get EMP'd or something like that, you wouldn't be disabled. You'd be fine. But if they EMP the robot that you're not on, then yes, you would not be able to switch to that robot for a short period of time. Also, Brava can hack your robot that you're not using, causing it to overheat and destroy it. Now, another really interesting thing about Skopos is the robot that you're not controlling can be killed. And if it is killed, the person who kills it gets a kill. Like, it goes in the kill feed, it goes on the scoreboard, all of that stuff. So now technically you can get a 6-kill round. If you kill Skopos and her additional drone and then kill everybody else, you can actually get 6 kills in a round, which is pretty cool. Some other interesting interactions with operators is that the Skopos robots cannot be healed, meaning Thunderbird stations, Doc, none of that works. She can't actually be healed at all, which is very interesting. There's just nothing in the game currently that interacts with the Skopos drones. Can she pick up Rook armor? I find that very interesting. I doubt it though. I don't think the robot can pick up Rook armor, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Another thing that's really interesting is that the inventory is shared between both robots. So Skopos has access to impact grenades and proxy alarms. So if you were to pick the impact grenades and you started on one robot and threw both of your impacts, and then you switch to another robot, you're not going to get an additional 2 impact grenades. You're only going to be able to use 2. So it's a shared inventory per se, which to me is fair, because, you know, otherwise that would be insane to be able to use 4 proxies and 4 impact grenades. But, you know, it would also be pretty cool. Another really cool thing about Skopos is she's coming with a brand new weapon to Rainbow Six Siege. She is coming with the PCX-33, which is a new primary AR, which, from what I've seen, has little to no recoil. It looks like an absolute demon of a weapon, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. It seems really fun to use, so I'm excited for finally having a new weapon in Rainbow Six Siege. It's felt like a long time since we got a new weapon. What's also interesting about Skopos, though, is that that's the only primary you get. Usually you get 2 weapons on each operator, but with Skopos, it's only 1 primary, only 1 secondary, which is super interesting. And really closing that out, the only other thing that I could tell you about Skopos is that her robots or her shells, as Ubisoft is calling them, can also be used as cams, right? It's essentially a bulletproof cam until you switch between them. So the one that you're not using, your teammates can access and look around with it, almost like a bulletproof cam or a maestro cam, like I said. However, if an enemy operator goes up to the glass that is housing the robot, they can punch it, breaking the glass, just like an OSA, just like a bulletproof cam, just like a Mira, and then you wouldn't be able to see out of it. But really, other than that, that's pretty much everything we have on Skopos. Very interesting character. In this early stage, it's hard to kind of make a judgment, but, you know, to be able to roam on top and in basement is really interesting. I really like this idea. It's a cool concept from Ubi, so I am pretty excited to see what they bring with her. But, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. The season is over in 2 weeks, and then we're going to have the new operator, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah. But that's all I got for you guys on Skopos. Let's move on to the other pretty big announcements that we have. The next thing I want to talk about is the season balancing that's coming to Rainbow Six Siege. As we know, Solus had a 2-part balancing that first came out this season, and now in this upcoming season, we're going to have the second part of the balancing. So the way Solus is going to work now is essentially she's only able to detect electronics from the center of the screen, meaning whatever her scanner can see is what she can see. She's not going to be able to get full scanning on the entire screen. It's only what you put your screen onto, essentially. The second thing she's going to get is she's now unable to see what the electronics are. She can see that there's electronics, but she won't know if it's a drone. She won't know if it's somebody line scanning. She won't know if it's the diffuser. There's a lot of things that it could be, and she won't know what it is. However, if she overclocks, then you would be able to scan and see what the actual electronics are. Now, she only has access to 3 of these scans per round, so using them smartly is important. The second thing is that when she overclocks, the enemy team will actually get a notification letting them know, hey, Solus is within detection range and she just scanned all of your electronics, which is pretty interesting. The next thing that Solus got is her actual gadget requires less energy to use and stays up for longer, which is cool. But like I said, she can only see electronics if she overclocks. And also, when you overclock, your Spec IO bar will immediately refill, which is pretty cool. So you could chain them together technically and just kind of keep using your Solus gadget, but after you run out of overclocks, then you're kind of done with scanning, to say the least. You could still see that there's electronics, but like I said, you wouldn't know what they are. That's about it for Solus. It's a very interesting update, and to be honest, I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know why they're doing all this stuff, but I think this update is honestly a lot worse. It definitely makes her a lot worse. She still also, by the way, cannot use her ability during the drone phase, so that's gonna remain unchanged. But to recap really quickly, essentially, she can only see gadgets that are within her field of view, within the box of the actual Solus gadget. She won't know what the electronics are unless she Solus scans, or overclocks, as Ubisoft calls it. When you overclock, you will refill your Solus scanner bar, meaning you can use it longer. But if there are any enemies within the detection range, they will know that you're scanning their electronics. Scanner uses less energy and requires less energy to pull out, which is cool, so you can use it a little bit more than how it is right now. But that's about it for Solus, so let's move on to Dokkaebi. Now, with Dokkaebi, what's really interesting is everybody thought, and it was rumored, that she just would lose her global scan. But that's not actually exactly how it works. What Ubi decided to do is very interesting, but I think it's fair. Now, instead of starting with her 2 scans as normal, she's actually going to start the round with 0. And her bar is going to charge up kind of like Wamai, kind of like other operators who, like Legion, for example, who you kind of have to wait for your utility to come up to be able to use it. It's going to be the same thing with Dokkaebi, but she's still only going to have up to 2 calls. And I think this is a cool change because it kind of encourages Doki players to stay alive and make sure that they get full value out of their utility instead of just being able to immediately scan, wait for it to come back, and then scan again. Also, her scan takes 45 seconds to fully load up. So for the first 45 seconds of the match, you won't have your Dokkaebi scan. So you do have to stay alive. And this puts a lot of incentive for the defenders to find and kill Dokkaebi, because if you kill her before the 45-second mark, she won't be able to scan. She's pretty much useless. So it is a really interesting update, and I think it's definitely fair. Dokkaebi is she's one of the most annoying operators in the game. So I do really appreciate this update from Ubi. However, like I said, they're not updating the range. It's still global. It's still going to hit every defender that's alive. But Ubisoft did say that they are looking into it and they may consider changing the range if she's still OP. And finally, the final update for operators and balancing changes is Nook. And we've all been waiting for Nook to get something. And to be honest, this update is really, really cool. So essentially, the way Nook is going to work now is instead of her ability being time-based, it's going to be action-based. Meaning, based on what you do, is going to determine how much energy you use when you pop her ability. So for example, walking is actually going to consume no energy, meaning you could pop your knock and just walk around the map and you will be forever hidden from cams and any other detection devices, which is really, really cool. However, if you sprint or you shoot, that will consume energy, leading to it eventually running out. So it's really, really a cool update because it's going to allow her to really be more patient and kind of find flanks, but also do flank watch really well, all that good stuff. So you could technically, with knock, if you don't shoot or sprint, you could be invisible the entire round from any detection devices whatsoever, which is really, really cool. Do I wish they added her silent step back? Absolutely. But I really do think this update is positive for Nook, and it's going to make her a lot more usable. The second thing that she's getting is for her FMJ9, it's going to get a recoil buff, so it's going to be easier to control, and it's going to be just a better weapon in general. This also does apply to Smoke, who has access to the FMJ9, but I think with Smoke, many people use the shotgun SMG combo, so we're not going to see people using it as much. However, on Nook, that's awesome. Just having a better weapon is always great. So overall, I think the Nook update is positive. I don't think the silent step is ever going to come back, so we just got to let that dream die. However, this update is really, really cool. I think it just makes her so much more usable, dude. You can pop your ability, take your time. You don't have to kind of feel rushed and have to run by cams because you know your ability is going to run out. Now you could just really take your time. It's super chill. It's super cool. And I'm definitely excited to use Nock in the future. The next thing we need to talk about is actually a really, really cool update. It's a nice comfort of life update from Ubisoft, and I feel like they should have done this a long time ago, but I'm really happy that they're doing it. The post-action report, meaning the loading screen at the end of the games, is now going to be completely different and newly updated, which is super sick. So as you can see on the screen, it's going to have kind of a different animation at the end where you can commend your teammates and all that good stuff. But then after that, you know how it's really annoying when you finish a game and you have to sit there and wait for like an hour just to see how much RP you gained or lost? Well, guess what? Now you're going to see everything all at once. You're going to get your spin for your pack, you're going to see your rank up or rank down, and you're going to see your XP, as well as the list of challenges that you completed and how much XP you earned in the match. It's all going to be just organized much better and much nicer, which is actually just such an amazing update, dude. Shout out Ubi. This is great. Now you don't have to sit in the menu for as long. You can get into more games, and it's just a great update. It's something simple, but it's definitely something I really appreciate because I think it's something that needed to be done a long time ago. The next thing I want to talk about is something very interesting, and I think it's going to be really annoying for defenders, but it is called Drone Boost. Now, as you can see, you'll be able to boost your drone during droning of any time, during the prep phase, during mid-round, anytime you want. You're going to be able to boost your drone up to 3 times, increasing its speed for 3 seconds, which is super cool. It's going to be better to help you evade defenders who are trying to shoot your drone, but also in those clutch situations where you just don't have that much time, you're going to be able to drone so much faster, clear out rooms, push in, and hopefully win the round. It's a really cool update. It's, again, something pretty basic, but I'm a big fan of it. Is it going to be super annoying for defenders? Yeah, I think you're going to be trying to shoot at a drone and they're just going to boost away, and it's going to be kind of funny. But this applies to both of your drones, meaning if you fully expend all your drone boost on one drone, you'll still be able to drone boost on your second drone, which is super cool. But where I think it really, really gets interesting is if you're using somebody like Twitch or Brava, you're going to have access to 4 drones, so that means you're going to have access to 12 drone boosts, which is pretty cool. From what I know, you are unable to drone boost with Flores. I know everyone's thinking that. I think that would be a little too OP anyways, because it's a time-based like explosive, so to be able to drone boost essentially extends the time period on the Flores drones. So yeah, as of right now, unfortunately, you're not able to drone boost with Flores, but with any other drone, you are able to drone boost, which is super, super cool. Now, the next thing I want to just touch on really quick, because unfortunately it doesn't apply to us console players, is the new and upcoming Siege Cup, which is a really cool game mode where essentially you can sign up with a 5-stack or even by yourself, I believe, and compete in a tournament essentially to earn rewards and to kind of just have something different to play when you don't want to play ranked. But like I said, unfortunately, Ubisoft has decided to launch it only on PC, which I find a little bit sus because PC is where all the cheaters are. But what their reasoning is essentially if something goes wrong with it or something isn't right with it, they can actually address it quicker, I guess. I don't really understand that, but I mean, it must be a hardware thing or whatever it may be. But yeah, unfortunately for us console players, we are unable to play in the Siege Cup in this upcoming season. Obviously, they're going to add it eventually for console, but as of right now, we don't have access to it. But I did just want to touch on it really quick for you guys who are curious or wondering, you know, can I sign up for the Siege Cup? Unfortunately, it's only for PC. And the final thing I want to touch on here before we end off the video is the new Jager Elite, which is actually out right now. As you can see, it's a pretty cool skin. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not, but for you hardcore Jaeger fans out there, it's pretty dope. He's like an astronaut or something. As you can see, helmet here, and let's take a look at this animation. Cool animation. I'm not even gonna lie. Nice animation. This has been leaked, so I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, but I did want to show you guys for the ones who haven't seen. It's coming in at the classic 16-20 credits, so it's pretty expensive, but for you hardcore Jaeger fans out there, I know you guys will enjoy this. That's pretty much all for the Jager Elite. As you can see, this is the skin. I'll show it off one more time. And the final two things I want to touch on are small things, but they're also pretty cool. One is that you'll now be able to use the shooting range when you're queuing up for a match. You don't have to just sit there on the menu on TikTok waiting for the match to start. You can jump into the shooting range, just shoot around, wait until the game starts. Super cool. And then the other thing is the update to the custom matches tab, where now there are 1v1 presets ready to go, loaded up for you so that you can play 1v1s, which is really cool. It's good for me because I do streams, you know, sometimes, and we do 1v1 tournaments, we do 2v2 tournaments. So it's, you know, just another nice quality of life update, which is, you know, always great. So I thought I would just let you guys know about that for you guys who love to run 1v1s. And with that being said, that's everything you guys need to know for Year 9 Season 3. Let's do a quick recap here. Essentially, we're getting the new operator Skopos, who controls 2 robot shells that she can switch to from any moment in the match as long as her drones are both alive. She's also coming in with a new weapon, which is super cool. We're also getting the Solus balance, the Dokubi balance, and the knock buff, which is really, really interesting. There's also the Siege Cup coming out, however, like I said, only for PC right now. There's also the update to the 1v1 custom playlists on the custom matches, as well as being able to go to the shooting range when you're queuing up for a match. Also, the after action report is now going to be a whole new screen where it shows everything concurrently instead of you having to sit there and wait for everything to show up, which is super nice. And finally, the drone boost. You're going to be able to drone boost, moving your drone around faster throughout the round. Super cool, and evading defenders. But yeah, boys, that's about everything. Oh, and the Jager Elite, of course. Sorry, forgot to mention that. But yeah, that's about everything, boys. Really interesting. Lots of new content. I'm super excited because I've been feeling like Siege is a bit dry. I don't know if you guys feel the same. So it's always great when we get new content. But I think this season specifically, we're actually getting a whole lot of new content. And it is exciting and it is fun. And, you know, it's important for the longevity and the health of this game that we constantly get updates. So super cool. New weapon, new operator, and plenty of other mechanics to play around with and have a good time with, as well as those operators that are getting balanced and reworked. Super cool. But yeah, boys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something new. And if you did, like I said before, make sure to hit that sub button, like the video, and join the PixelPeekers, and comment down below what you guys are most excited for. I would love to know. But yeah, boys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.